let's get right into it. We're going to talk about Cardi B, who they discussed on the Joe Budden podcast, who I watch from time to time. So let's kind of just hear the topic and what they're speaking about.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Do we have it a little bit?
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
I'm just
Get-
asking.
get-
do we
I-
have
get
the
shit
song?
over.
She put her it's a freestyle
It is.
over Missy's.
She's
Daddy. Yeah, I don't say.
I like it.
Not mad at it, but
So Cardi B put out something which I was unaware of. I had no idea she had put out any new music. Let's check it out. Yeah, so she put out a little freestyle called like what? So let's hear what they're talking about. Let's just check out the song. So it says freestyle. Do we really believe it's a freestyle? Like, what are the odds that this is an actual freestyle? I think they're being very loose with those terms. Freestyle. I think they're kind of trying to. I hate when artists put out songs and fully choreographed music videos and then call it a freestyle. Like, the word has lost all meaning in hip hop. A freestyle is something that comes off of the top of the dome, or something that maybe you had pre-written way back in the day, but you can pull out at any time, that is very in line with the topic of what you are spitting about and talking about, and actually delivering on a lyrical front. Putting loose, probably barely thought of lyrics over a beat with a full-on music video does not equate a freestyle. But that's just my little rant for today. I hate the term freestyle being thrown around as loosely as it is today. Freestyle is a whole art form in hip-hop and rap, and I hate when these artists just kind of say freestyle, and they say freestyle for the very specific reason that they don't want you to take this song as serious and as from a such critical standpoint. It's like when they put out, I'm not putting out an album, I'm putting out a mixtape, but a mixtape of all original beats and production along with videos and everything to go along with it. It kind of is no longer a mixtape. It's just an album that you are afraid to call an album, most likely because you don't want that heat. You don't want that fleck. You don't want that criticism. And that's kind of the state we are with freestyles. But putting that aside, there's almost zero chance that this is freestyle. Y'all already know how I feel about these super lazy, cheap ass sample flips that are going on nowadays. She's clearly rapping over Missy Elliott's "She's That Bitch" song, which was, I'm pretty sure it was produced by Timbaland, and it was an absolutely fire beat and fire song when it came out. I forget the exact date and time, but I'm not surprised that she wanted to touch that and kind of put her own touch to it. But like, it's not even an interesting flip. It's almost it's so derivative, and it's so like barely remixed or reimagined that you can just call these interpolations at this point, like, or remixes, because they don't do shit to the actual beat or production in any interesting way. They just change up the drums. And that's kind of where we are. But you already know how I feel about that. That's just my initial thoughts about this freestyle. Sorry, record by Offset. So I'm not even gonna touch their personal life because I do not care. I don't know their situation. Don't care. But like I said, this is definitely not a freestyle, and it's definitely more of a Missy Elliott remix than anything. But I can't really give her too much flack to that, considering that she was pretty much at the forefront of that in this kind of modern day and age of hip hop. And if we're talking about Bodak Yellow, so I like it like that. Like, it's something that she's always done. So I can't give her too much flack for that. And this is somebody who's speaking who actually likes Cardi B and actually likes hearing her on songs. I think that her flow and her delivery is some of the best in the game, especially from female rappers. I think her writers do a pretty good job on pretty much most of the song that she does. And yeah, this is a cool song, especially because Missy Elliott made a dope ass song to begin with. But this is a cool kind of remix / flip, and she doesn't really say anything of meaning or of like substance here, so there's nothing really for me to dig into lyrically. But it was a cool song all around, and it's something that she hasn't really done a lot, which is drop music. She hasn't dropped a lot of music over kind of recent periods. So that's kind of what they're talking about when they're talking about the on the Joe Budden podcast. So let's continue.
Not blown away by it either. I like the concept of her just doing some freestyle shit, quote unquote freestyle shit.
Damn freestyle, man.
No, it's not a freestyle. I mean, nothing.
Derivative.
See, I knew it. I knew it. I knew I wasn't wrong for feeling the way I felt, and I actually did not see this clip before, so I'm not surprised to hear them say it because they are also critical in the same way. So I'm glad we agree on this one. I don't agree with everything they say, but I'm glad we agree on this
I
one.
think it's a freestyle.
It's a sold single. It's just because it ain't going to perform well, we're not going to call it a...
Nah, I don't think so. I think it was low effort compared to
that's what I'm... So I can call it a freestyle.
Yeah.
Sets the bar of expectation.
Yeah.
Hold up. Rewind that because it sounds exactly like what I just said.
Call it a freestyle.
Yeah.
Sets the bar of expectation.
Yeah.
It's just because it ain't going to perform well, we're not going to call it a...
Nah, I don't think so. I think it was low effort compared to...
that's what I'm... So I can call it a freestyle.
Yeah.
Sets the bar of expectation.
Yeah.
Lower the bar.
I don't like
Yeah,
it.
lower the bar. So you don't gotta take that flack. You ain't gotta take that criticism. You just be like, oh, it was just a freestyle. I didn't really care about it in the first place, even though it's a fully produced single and music video. Like, come on, bruh.
It's for Cardi to be going so long with her a single by herself.
This is setup. She got a product coming or a
but
big single coming or something. This is a...
But it sounded like she was dissing niggas.
I don't care.
And it sounded like she was on the ride, it was just, Megan and Nicki going back and forth. She just wanted to catch some of that steam by throwing her 2 cents into it. That's how I took it. So I was excited about it. And then Lotto and Ice Spice. So I felt like, it was the right time to do that. I thought it was dope. I liked it.
Y'all ain't gonna want to hear it from me, but the girl rapper wave is over.
What?
There go Joe again with the spicy ass takes. Like that's what he does. That's what he does. He knows how to trigger people. He knows how to trigger people because there's no way he fully believes that the girl rapper wave is over. Bro, like what male rappers are doing anything? Little Baby was supposed to be the next coming of, I don't know. And that's kind of faded. So who's competing? Who's really moving shit right now? The females. That's a spicy take, Joe.
Damn.
Oh, come on.
Just telling you what it is. I'm normally a few months ahead with this stuff. Sometimes a few years ahead with this stuff.
When you say over,
Why do you say that?
Nigga, you just said it was
The girl rapper wave is finito.
How you just changed? You just said a couple of weeks ago that it was lit.
I wouldn't waste.
No, I said the cream rises to the top. So Lotto shall remain.
She will.
Flo Milli shall remain.
Got it.
Rhapsody will always be there, but she wasn't really a part of it. But all of that, go find a girl, send her to Columbia, get it done, put her in the studio with fucking Mike Will or any one of them niggas. All of that, planting the girl in the scene, getting the record, and it taking off. That wave is over. I think labels are looking at it like very few of y'all are selling records. It's too much work to get your coin back. We got to go do brand deals all over the world with y'all. Y'all are expensive. Some of y'all are annoying. And none of these records are working. None of these records are working. Well, and let me get to Cardi B. Cardi B is afraid. And I'm tired of just...
Was she afraid of, Joe? What is she afraid of?
Nobody's saying it. Cardi B is scared to come out. It don't take this long to come out. They recently just found every year where she plugged that she was coming, dating back to 2019. It's like 6 different slides in different years of you saying, hey, I have something coming. Even this freestyle was previewed a year ago.
For real?
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, she was on live somewhere and played this shit. This ain't new off the stove. Offset the other day in his story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish my baby would just drop.
I thought
What
that was
are
part
you
of the
afraid
setup.
of? Right? And I'm just thinking about how Cardi B has reacted to tweets that she dislikes, just any comment that she disliked. I think that she's afraid to put a project out because the wave of If you put a project out and it don't do what it's supposed to do, you're donezo. Rates go down. Prices go down.
And not just that, she got a high bar to keep up with her last project.
Exactly.
So now you got added pressure. You got a wave that's saturated right now with women rappers who are killing shit. And you got an arguable classic album to follow up.
They got some very interesting points there. Classic album, I'm damn sure not saying Cardi B had a classic album. That's, again, another very spicy take that I don't agree with in any way, shape, or form. Was it a very well-received album that did numbers and had some massive hits? Yes, Invasion of Privacy was very much that, but a classic album is an absolute reach. But they do have a point. Joe's saying that Cardi B is afraid of dropping. And I could definitely see that. There's some very serious allegations, for one, for somebody who's supposed to be considered one of the biggest kind of artists, not alone just female artists, one of the biggest artists and icons in music this day. But if you really look back over the last 4, 5, 6 years, she has not dropped like anything of really substance. Like, let's take a look. Invasion of Privacy, her one and only album. Like, she popped up on the scene probably like 2017, 2016, around there. Her one and only album that she ever was able to get out was Invasion of Privacy, which, as I said, was a massive hit and successful and really kind of established herself in the game, but came out in April 6, 2018. We're 1 month away from that being exactly 6 years ago. Like, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? It's not like you're like cooking up some high concept album that is going to really press you and push you to really dig deep in your lyrical bag, and you need all this kind of life experience to rap about and talk about. Like, you're going to talk about the same 3-4 subjects that you talk about in pretty much every song. All people want is like hit songs from you and danceable shit and like quotables, and like, I'm sure your writers are able to deliver that. So like 6 years is a crazy gap for an artist like Cardi B to not actually have an album. And as Joe was saying, the only reason that she's not dropping is because she's afraid. And he's got some good points. It's hard to argue that she's not, considering that she was pretty much at the start of this whole female rapper wave, like this newer generation. They're pretty much all modeled after her at this point, and like her rollout and how she kind of popped up on the game and like got her like fame. Like, she's pretty much the blueprint for that. And like, I'm sure she's kind of looking over her shoulder like, yo, they kind of doing what I'm doing right now, like how I was doing things. How can I put out something that's going to differentiate myself from this very oversaturated field? And I don't think artistically, musically, she is capable of like really differentiating herself. I'm not saying that she can't make a hit, because I'm sure she can. I just don't think that what she's going to do is going to be so different than what we've been hearing over the last 4 years from other female artists. And like Joe is saying that wave is over. I don't know. I don't think it's over, but I definitely think people's interest is waning and are looking to hear something different and something new. And I don't think she's capable of delivering that. And 6 years in albums, like, is wild. Even in the streaming day and age, it's wild for a big name artist like that to not have any full projects. And we're not just talking about projects. If we look back, 2020, she had one single, a big single, regardless, WAP, which obviously was the biggest song of the year with Megan Thee Stallion. Then she followed up with Up in 2021, which another very big, massive single. Both of those went #1. Followed up that with then 2022 Hot Shit and Tomorrow 2 on Glorilla's album. 13 and 9 respectively. Then 2023, she popped up on 3 singles. Jealousy with Offset, Point Me To with Fendi the Rapper, which I've actually never heard that song, and Bongos featuring Megan Thee Stallion, starting at number 82, number 55, and number 14, a far cry from the number ones that she was very used to early on in her career. So she really has not dropped any music of any real substance or like cultural relevance in like 5 years. And dropping one single year as being like this big iconic figure in hip hop is wild. So Joe's definitely got a point, and I do kind of agree that it's looking like she's afraid, like that she can't deliver what people are expecting her to deliver, because the longer time goes, the higher expectations go. It's very much aligned with like that whole Dr. Dre chronic or the whole Detox saga. Like we'll never get that because it's just gone on too long.
So it's double the pressure for her.
The problem I have with what Joe was saying, because he extends a lot of the R&B acts grace. Oh, come out in 6 years. Or even Kendrick, I heard him say, give grace to as far as, we're waiting for the project 6 years.
You cannot compare Cardi B to Kendrick. That's one thing you cannot do.
What? Move this man.
Comparing the music and projects of a Kendrick Lamar to Cardi B is actually blasphemous, and you should get you absolutely revoked from any conversation dealing with hip hop and rap or music in general. Kendrick takes that long because he actually digs deep and pulls out full on concept albums that require intense creation. And he writes everything. She doesn't even write her own shit. So like it does not take that long to put out an album. That's Lil Baby. How long it takes to put out an album.
They aren't that.
I want to be clear.
But
Kendrick is the exception, not the rule.
Got it.
R&B rules are also not rap rules.
Got it.
I'm saying as far as the labels going to get Meg, Cardi, Nicki really don't count because she's such a staple. But even that with Cardi, right? Like a little birdie had told me, fucking, I'm going to just spill it, that whenever Nicki was trying to drop, or whenever Cardi was trying to drop, Nicki was trying to drop. And that's why Nicki kept changing dates. Don't quote me on nothing. But Nicki changed that date like 5 times trying to match up with whenever Cardi was dropping. And that was supposed to be the big, I mean, if we, just as consumers looking at it, that was supposed to be the 50 Kanye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I feel like, would have helped Cardi. Nicki, I think, was going to sell whatever she was going to sell regardless. But Cardi, I think, would have gotten a big boost and just catapult from that marketing. It didn't happen, and then Nicki dropped. I ain't spoke to nobody up there at Atlantic, but I think Cardi backed out of that. I think she ran from that. And now we about to be in March.
Facts. Like she's more worried about beefing off of music and social media than actually competing musically with this person who they've had a back and forth for the entirety of her basically career. Like she's backed out of that.
Spring, summer, year 6.
It got to be something this year. This summer.
This year.
It has to be.
6.
Album.
Yeah.
By the summer.
It has to be. If not, you might as well just.
I think a lot of these
stick to-
girl rappers are going through City Girls drama and keeping it low.
New Joe Budden.
I mean, they've definitely got some very good points there. And I agree for the most part of almost everything they were saying, because I don't really see any other reason why she's not dropping outside of that she doesn't think that she can put out a project that will get the same praise, the same attention, the same love as she did when she first kind of dropped. And the longer she takes, the higher the expectations, the more the pressure gets. And like, you can't put out a dud at this point. Like, you consider yourself, or people consider you to be like at the pinnacle, at the peak of like this female rap game. You got to put out some crazy shit. And like, I don't really know how much crazier she can put out anything. Like, I don't think she's creative artistically enough to kind of deliver something that we're not expecting. And that's, and that's something I think a lot of the female rappers that have popped up recently are going to experience, because outside of singles, outside of your time in the sun, how are you going to follow that up consistently over and over and over again? That's why I give Jay-Z and all these other artists so much props, and Drake, because to do it over and over and over and over again when everybody's looking at you and everybody's expecting you to one-up yourself constantly is very hard to do. And that's what separates the greats from just the hot right nows. And if she's not careful, she's just going to be, yeah, she was cool when she was out. She was hot at the time. But that's it. She, unless she's fully just going to transition to the other things that she's got going on, I don't know, in fashion or whatever else she's got going, that clock is definitely ticking. That clock is definitely ticking. And at this point, she might as well just continue to put out singles and just kind of cash out on that, because she's just making it hard on herself. But I definitely agree with a lot of the points that they were talking about.